All right.
Hi.
Quería comenzar con la de Chente. ¿Dónde está la de Chente? Esta es la que quería.
Hello.
Oye.
Hello, baby doll. En donde quiera que estés, mi amor. Todavía te quiero, corazón. Mucho. Más que a nadie.
Está buena para bailar.
Todo este tiempo que hemos estado separados,
La baby bien apretada.
nunca dejé de pensar en ti. Y nunca dejé de quererte. Y sé muy bien,
Ya la baby doll
me quieres todavía.
te agarra donde te más te quiere, papá. De la billetera, allá atrás.
That's right.
Estabas pensando tú, Chete.
No, dije yo, no. You're in the right track.
Man, cuando salió esta rolita, bro, man, threw me back, bro, big time, man. How long ago did you do this?
We did that in 2008.
2008?
Yeah, right after we got a Grammy in 2006 for an album that I did called Que Sigue el Taconazo.
Sí.
And then I said, we did I always wanted to do a record that because I toured with a lot of bands growing up, you know.
Yeah.
I toured with La Tropa F when there was Tropa F, Oscar G, you know, La Sombra.
En la batería, ¿no? ¿Estás en la
Jay Perez, yeah, I toured. So I said, you know what, I want to do a concept record. I want to do a duet with, you know, Jay Perez, David Farias, all these guys.
Collaborations.
So, ándale.
Yeah.
And then, so at the very end, I said, you know what, I'm going to do a medley of nothing but 80s tunes because we would play these songs live. And people pues responden, no? They dance. And
Sí.
so I ended up doing Hello Baby Doll, Te Quiero Mucho from La Movida, and Dime Si Soy Un Tonto from Romance.
Yeah.
And man, the response was crazy. And you know what, bro? That's my #1 song on Spotify, the Retro 80s medley.
It's great. And you know what? It's interesting. What made you pick those 3 songs? I mean, there's so many great 80s songs.
Yeah, and well, that's why I did a second one.
Okay, yeah.
There's a second one later down the line, but
Sí.
but this one got so much
Pero esta
attention.
es
that
la mera
the other
mera,
one,
bro.
I mean, it got a little attention, but not as much as this one.
But what made you decide these
And
3
you know
tunes?
what? It
I
was
mean,
just- it was
there's
just
so
at
many
the-
songs.
yeah, that was just at the
Did
time.
you juggle about 10 of them, or did you just get inspired to do these 3 songs?
Not really, man. Those were the ones that I just picked them, you know.
Órale.
And the second time around, we did Cerrando Puertas from Showband USA.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
And then we did No Digas Que No from Grupo Fuego.
No
Right.
digas. You know, those bands
that.
weren't really well known.
And
Like
then we did
they were like one-hit wonders,
Mañana
right?
from Cali Carranza,
Yeah.
Los Formales. And then we ended it.
Mañana, yeah.
And then we ended it with Basta Tu Amor from Mayo.
Yeah, no, that's
So anyway, but I mean,
great
but
songs, bro.
those 4 songs, but this one's just 3. But como quiera, man, we get a lot of. I mean,
Wait, but
every
esa-
time we play, man, it's a request.
La de Mayo, those are like, man, early 70s,
Late
no?
70s?
Late 70s, la de Mayo. I
Late-
remember
late
my uncle had an
70s.
album of Mayo, you know, and it was the 70s. I was in
Yeah,
elementary.
late 70s.
Yeah.
Pero como quiera, he re-recorded it a few times, so
¿Cómo se llama ese medley que estás hablando?
it's a retro medley 2.
Retro medley, y nomás es el number 2.
Yeah,
Órale, vamos a ver si lo hallamos aquí. A ver.
should be there. It's on a CD called Viva Tejano.
Órale.
Pero como quiera, man, I'm glad to be here finally, bro.
Yeah, bro. Let's check it
cool.
out, bro. Here it is. And you got a big show coming up, Memorial
Yeah, man.
Weekend, bro. I want to talk about that,
Labor
ladies and
Day
gentlemen. Yeah. Man, that's a great song. Show Band USA.
Yes, sir. Oh, that's
Yeah. ¿De dónde eran ellos? ¿De aquí el valle?
De Corpus, de
¿De Corpus?
Rapstown, Kingsville area.
Yeah.
amor no te interesa, solo piensas en riquezas, ya me voy.
Are you a better singer than you are a drummer, or a better drummer than you are a singer, bro?
I don't know, man. I just play, I just sing,
Because you're an
Vamos,
accomplished
vamos,
drummer, dude. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no.
You do some of that, you know?
I've been very blessed, bro. I've been very blessed to record a lot of great music and work with a lot of great people, man.
Sí. Y pues vienes a second generation tú también. A lot of people don't know that your dad was, with David Lee Garza at the very
Right,
beginning,
yeah.
right? He was singing with him, right?
He was, I don't know if he was the first singer, but he was one of the first singers when they came out.
Sí.
And when Roberto Pulido took David Lee under his wing and they went touring everywhere, Dad was there with him. And unfortunately, my dad passed away in 1984. I was 8 years old, man.
¿Qué le pasó, bro?
He was just pretty much at the how do you say it? The wrong place at the wrong time.
Okay.
There was like a bar,
Una cantina.
Se hizo el pedo, ¿no?
Andaban poreando y se hizo unos
somebody took out a
chingados ahí.
gun and he got killed, man.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
That's
it was-
tragic.
Yeah. it's
And how
bad.
old were you, did you say?
I was 8 years old.
8 years old?
And at that time, man, I was kind of like, man, I was lost, bro. My grades went down in school, and
I could imagine.
I was very confused because I couldn't understand why my dad had passed away. And so as I grew up and started recording and playing with bands, I always wanted to finish what he started.
Sí.
You know what I'm saying? And here we are, man. Here we are.
Yeah.
I've had my own band for 25 years. We're celebrating Labor Day weekend, and we'll talk about all that later. Pero yeah, man. I mean, aquí estamos, and there's actually a song that I did with my dad, and that's something that I wanted to talk about. Basically, what he did is he did like 2 albums with David Lee.
Okay.
One of them got released on Capitol because Capitol had all the Falcon. They had all the
Sí.
Falcon.
Arnaldo
catalog,
Ramírez Sr.
the
acá.
library.
Yeah.
And there was an album there that David Lee didn't release officially. And they finally released it because I guess they were looking through the library. Hey, there's a David Lee record here.
Sí.
Well, my dad's voice is on there.
Wow.
Right? And then there's some other songs that they had done, various 45s and stuff like that.
Sí.
I bet people are going, what are 45s?
They were little records.
Yeah.
They were little records because you have the albums that are the big records.
Like the single?
But
Well, that was the
you used to
single.
have little records with a big circle in the middle,
Yeah.
and you'd have to put an adapter in there to be able to play it on the record
Ándale.
player. And those were the singles, and the side A was usually the hit, and side B was like a B side.
Like a
but
follow-up,
sometimes
yeah.
the B side would be as good as
good
the
as-
A
yeah,
side.
hell yeah.
So yeah.
So long story short, man. So when I decided to do my own thing, I said, man, I've always wanted to look up my dad's music, right? And there was this man. His name is Sam Zuniga. He was the historian for the Tejano Music Awards.
Okay.
Every time they would present an award to a certain songwriter or somebody behind the scenes that wasn't or los músicos que ya se habían retirado,
Sí.
they would give them Hall of Fame awards and whatnot. He was the guy that would look them up. He was the guy that would research. Ándale.
Órale.
So one time I said, hey man, there's a thing I'm looking for. Belisa Records was the label. He says, you know what, that sounds familiar, pero déjame ver. And about 2 years later, he calls me. He says, Chente, I found the guy, man, Belisa Records. He said he's got your dad's masters.
Wow.
Really? So anyway, long story short,
What did you feel at that moment?
I just freaked out. At first I said, wow,
your
let me
dad's
see.
voice,
Yeah.
dude,
So then I said, hey man, I got a hold of him and I said, look, here's what I want to do. I want to see if the masters are still good enough to put them on tape or
and
digitally.
remaster.
Right,
Right?
remaster.
Yeah.
Take my dad's voice out and I sing with him.
Yeah.
Right? Well, I did it. And thanks to Gilbert Velasquez and a couple other people that made it happen for me, I got all the guys back in the studio. David Lee, his father, Papa Tony,
Sí.
Adam, the drummer, Richard, the bass player, and Wowie, the sax player.
Yeah.
They all played on that original track.
Yeah.
20 years later.
Wow.
And they retracted with me and my dad's voice.
And what's the name
So
of it, man? I want to look
It's called
for this.
Celos.
Celos?
Yeah, it's
And
called Celos.
It's under Chente
Yeah,
Barrera? Okay.
It was on my very first record that I did with Capitol. And Capitol was real honest with me. They're like, look, man, we're going to put this record out and we're probably not going to get behind it because we got like 30 bands. But we want to put it out to see if, a ver qué pasa, right? At that time, they were signing everybody. Yeah, a ver qué, see what would stick to the wall.
Yeah, I remember that.
Pero it was just one of those things, man. I got caught in the middle because Capitol wanted me to do a more norteño thing because at that time that
Intocable was coming out.
Intocable, Michael
Yeah.
Salgado, Límite, all those bands were coming out.
Yeah.
That wave was
Cruz de
coming.
Madera was like the
Ándale.
Kickstarter for all that stuff, bro.
So man, that I don't have nothing against that music. I think it's great, but that's not me.
And it's norteño light, actually. They call
ándale.
it norteño light.
Right. So they wanted me to do that. And I'm like, man.
It's your voice, dude.
Your
Your voice could do it. Right?
Well, they wanted me to do the whole sax thing, the how do they call it? Chihuahua norteño.
Okay.
Where with the sax and the
okay.
veleros and máquina norteño.
I don't know about that.
They wanted me to do that. That was very, very. They suggested that I do that.
That's a little more hardcore than your norteño. I think norteño light would have fit you well with your voice.
So I said, man, I'm from San Antonio. I grew up there. That's not my style. I mean, I don't have, like I said, I love the music, but that's just not me. And I figured, you know what? This probably ain't gonna work out, but you know what? I'm gonna have a chance to do this project that I've always wanted to do with my dad. And anyway, a few years later, I didn't re-sign. I did the independent thing, and what do you know, man? We got on the map. We got on the map with a song that was the last song of the record, and it was a filler. And when I sent out the single, I sent out the whole album, or the CD. I sent it to all the PDs, and they said, you know what, Chente? The song is good, but we like this one. And it was the song from Roberto Pulido. Ando Racho.
Yeah.
Copa tras Copa, right? Mm-hmm. They thought I had written that song. They thought that was a new song. I said, hombre, that's a remake of Los Clásicos.
Yeah.
You know? And so, what do you know? That was my first hit. You know, that's what got me on the map. And anybody who knows me, knows I'm like the biggest Roberto Pulido fan. And I know there's a few of us there. Estamos jugando tug of war, no? Pero como quiera, so, you know, and then apenas 2 years ago, I did a tribute album to him. All the songs they're all Pulido songs.
It's interesting because, you know, I had Destiny and Rigo Navaida here, okay. and the impact that Roberto Pulido had on the Tejano music scene in the late 70s in San Antonio is something that's not very talked about much. It's
not, man.
You know what I mean? He was a huge...
There's not enough documentation. There's not enough video, I feel, of our genre, you know, because I would love to see a live performance of Conjunto Bernal or go back, you know, to Laura y Felicidad. Something just came up on YouTube not too long ago with Laura and Felicidad. They're playing outside at some outdoor festival. Ahí está Snowball. It was Snowball and Company, actually.
Ramiro?
Yeah. No, Ramiro wasn't there yet.
That's Snowball's name.
Oh, I mean, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I knew Snowball, man. Yeah. He was a DJ with me in a little radio station. We worked together. And
I'm over here thinking about Felicidad, Miro, right?
No, Miro was here with us también. He went with Romance. All of Laura's band went with Romance. Like, I wish there was video of Romance back in the day.
That's what I'm saying.
Great,
so there's not enough, you know, and I tell everybody, man, you know, take pictures, you know, take video, because there's not enough of that of Tejano music. You know?
I follow aquí Rogelio Archivos.
Ándale.
Ese vato, he started the shows back in the mid 70s, something like that. Yeah. Had Los Tigres before they were anybody, you know. And his son has all the archives. Wow. So he's been uploading stuff, and I'm subscribed. So anytime he puts something up, and you see bands like, wow, man,
yeah, La Mafia,
yeah, dude,
that,
yeah. So I mean, I think there are some shows out there, some archives, Johnny Canales, you know, and stuff like that. But the 70s, man, it's really hard to find some. I think Rogelio's the one that really has most of it, probably.
Yeah, I don't know who has the. Like the Domingo Peña and all that. I mean, there's stuff there too. You know?
Nano's dad had Fanfarria Falcón. That was also like a variety show of music, Tejano music and stuff like that. But man, I mean, if we had cell phones back then, or we had any type of, you know,
just whatever. Like I was telling you about that Snowball and Company. Whoever did that, I have no idea how they got the video. I mean, I guess somebody was out there with an old school camera or something.
What is it, 8mm or whatever? My mom had one of those, man. You know, little, you know, the kind of.
Andale.
Is this a song?
That's the song.
Celos. With your dad?
Andale. That's me at like 22. Still going through puberty.
Huh?
I was still going through puberty.
Yeah. La grabaste con chingo de pimples y la chingada.
Sí, ahí está el jefe.
Celos fueran celo en verdad, te quitarás de sufrir el dolor. Para mí sería la felicidad, donde hay celo está el amor.
What's the memory that sticks most to you about your dad, man? I mean, you were 8 years old when he passed away, and he was always probably on the road and playing around.
We had a small house there on the south side of town, And in the back room, I had my little drum set there. And he would get home from work. Y yo ya estaba en fregas, no?
Sí.
I had the album. I had the stereo right here with the album, the Clásicos album.
Yeah.
And I would be playing. And, dale para atrás. And I'd be like, oh, man. You know, here we go. You know, you know, you crack the whip, man. You know.
Yeah.
We're not getting out of here till you learn this part. You know.
Yeah.
No lo vas a chirear, you know.
No. Y la palabra del día, chirear.
Sí, ¿verdad?
Yeah.
Somos clica,
Yeah,
¿verdad?
just chirión.
Pero yeah, man, and he that's what I remember. You know, the most memorable was que me decía, no le hagas así, no, dale así, or you know, he would always. And I was like, hijo, me acuerdo que una vez some kids were knocking on the door. Hey, can Chente come play? Estaban jugando fútbol en la calle, no. No, ahorita, you know.
Era como el papá de Selena contigo, que
Maybe not that.
Como el papá de Michael Jackson.
No me golpeaba así tanto.
No,
así,
but I mean, he's a perfectionist. He wanted you to do it right.
Yeah, solo que me decía, y él me decía, he goes, you'll thank me later. I know you're mad at me, but you'll thank me later. Porque estaba yo, you know.
Yeah.
I was, you know.
No, man, you are
5-6 years old. Ya estaba yo con, you know.
Yeah.
Chingado.
You are an accomplished drummer, man.
You know,
Big
thank you.
time. And then when I heard you record your music and sing, I was like, what? Because I used to see you play drums with bands, right? And I
Dude,
never heard
I have
you
a
sing.
cassette in a box somewhere. Que cuando tocamos in South Dallas.
Uh-huh.
Y éramos, it was me and Speedy on bass, Velázquez on guitar, and you bring us up.
Uh-huh.
And we started playing, it was what was that song, man? It was a Led Zeppelin song.
Oh, yeah. Rock and roll?
No, it was a
Whole lot of love. I want a whole lot of love.
Esa.
Yeah, I think I
Esa.
remember doing that with you guys, man.
And it's there, man. I have it on a cassette. So
wow.
one day I'm gonna find it, man, and I'm gonna send
That's
it to
got to
you.
be the early 90s, you know?
Yeah.
The late 80s, early 90s.
And I think you freaked out because we started playing, and you were like,
Yeah.
"Orale!" You're like, "Yeah."
Classic rock.
Well, you know, everybody in the bands were rockers, you know, back then. I mean, when with Emilio would play, I'd get up and introduce them, and they'd go into War Pigs, Black Sabbath, or Van Halen. You really got me, or something. And then when we just start jamming, that was their moment to really get off their chest what they wanted to rock out to.
Yeah, man.
And then they'd go into a ranchera and stuff like that. But very accomplished musicians, man. And
Sí, me acuerdo que.
yeah. This guy was just singing a song because I play rock and roll on the radio. That's what I do. On Q94.5, I'll rock all the time right here in the Rio Grande Valley. In El Paso, it's 92.3 The Fox. And I will be in El Paso real soon. I'll let you know about that. But this morning, I was playing some Led Zeppelin, Going to California. Me habla. And he sends me a recording, and he's singing the song. I'm going to California with me.
I was like, no, I called you like maybe like an hour or two before the show, and when you answer, I'm like, took my chances on a big red plane. Never let them tell you that they're all the same.
Yeah.
You know, but and Rock like just started singing with me at the same time. It was fucking funny. But I really enjoy listening to your show in the morning because you give a lot of like, you know, like insights and information, and the songs are badass. Like today's playlist was awesome. There's a lot of Led Zeppelin in there. And it's super entertaining, man. I love listening to you in the morning.
You know, it's unfortunate that in San Antonio, bro, we don't have we have a classic rock station. We have the Eagle. Pero, I don't know, man.
Ya no tienen K-Zep. I remember K-Zep.
No, K-Zep was cool.
Yeah.
But they're just on the internet now.
Oye, Tejano, bro? The radio? I mean, you've got Johnny Ramirez up there, right?
Still
What
got
station
Johnny.
is he on?
He's on LA 95.7,
95.7, orale. Yeah, and then 107, that was like the biggest
the biggest
Tejano station in the world.
It's AM now.
It's AM now.
1550.
It's
And
on HD too.
And then we
yeah.
got
We haven't even introduced Vasquez allá, Dan. Richard Vasquez.
¡Saludos!
Oye, nos fuimos en un viaje y tú, Chente. Pobrecito, Richard, ahí lo dejamos
Sorry,
afuera.
Rich, se quedó dormido, Richard.
Richard, man. Welcome to the show, Richard. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason they're here is because they're putting on an amazing show. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, August 30th, 31st, September 1st. It's Tejano Superfest Labor Day Weekend Bash, Cattleman Square in San Antonio, Texas. There's a poster right there. You can check it out. I started calling it the Woodstock of Tejano, and you guys kind of like that, didn't it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, right. Because it is. It's like 3 days.
It's crazy.
3 days.
You know, Rock, I've been a lot of people, some people know, some people don't, but I've always been, not always, but I got into the behind the scenes booking bands, putting shows together.
Sí.
You know, aventando, you know, ideas, you know, to, hey man, why don't you do this or why don't you try this? And I found myself helping all these people out, pero no está haciendo feria. I was giving them all my ideas and all, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hasta que dije, yo, hold on. It took me a while to say, you know what? It's time.
Yeah.
It's time to do something. And I met Richard. He hired me to do a show because he's got his promotion company, Hill Country Vasquez Promotions in Kerrville, Texas.
Órale.
I know you've done some shows in Kerrville, right?
Yeah, we play in Bandera. ¿Tú eres de ahí de esa área, man? That's beautiful country, Richard.
Kerrville. Yes, sir.
I love that. ¿Qué tanto está el solar allá, carnal? Me gustaría comprar un solar en el Hill Country, carnal. Poner una casita o algo, ride my Harley, man, for a couple of days, you know?
So I met Richard, and then, we were talking, and after the gig, and, ahí estábamos ahí, and he says, you know what, Chente, I've always wanted to do something big. I wanted to do a big concert with, 20 bands and this and a big stage, and I'm going, really? How big? So we got to talking, man, and we decided, you know what, we're going to collaborate and do this big show for everybody.
Yeah. Cattleman Square.
And it's everything, man. It's Labor Day weekend. It's my 25th anniversary. It's my birthday on August 31st. And it's
All the stars have aligned.
it's a big celebration, man.
Yeah.
And I started calling everybody, hey man, tenés esta fecha, tenés esta fecha. Yeah. And there's some bands there that didn't make the cut, not because I didn't want them to, just because, one, there's not enough time, and then some of them were booked already, and then I'm
Oye, ¿y cómo le hiciste para saber quién va a headline y la chingada? Ya sabe cómo se pone la
No,
raza,
you know what?
carnal.
Actually, I talked to
Sí,
the guys and say, "Hey
everybody's
man, do you
cool.
mind? No, dale, guys, let's go, let's go."
Yeah, at our age, man, the earlier the better, carnal.
Yeah,
Ponme
man.
las 7, carnal. No hay
hombre.
pedo. I don't have to headline.
Yeah.
¿Verdad?
Some of the bands don't even care. Don't ponme las dos.
Yeah.
Págame, vámonos.
Well, the music's going to start at what time? About
On
noon? or-
Friday, it's going to be 6 o'clock porque la gente todavía trabaja,
Órale.
right?
Yeah.
So we're going to do from 6 to 1 on Friday.
Well, let's talk about Friday, because Friday you've got Gary Hobbs, man.
Yes, sir.
Esta rola, bro, is it's one like the Hotel California
Yeah,
of rock and roll.
it
man.
is.
Las miradas. Bro.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get old either.
Yeah. You got, ladies and gentlemen, Gary Hobbs is going to be there.
Oh, yeah.
And then you've also got Jay Perez.
Jay Perez.
Yeah, Friday, bro.
Yeah.
What a kickoff, man. That's great.
Gary and Jay. That's actually a conversation of, who wants to close?
Uh-huh.
Jay was like, whatever, it's all good.
Really?
Yeah.
Órale.
And Gary was like, oh, whatever.
Sí.
So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Heads or tails?
That's good. See, if
Call
it
it.
was like
Call
that
it.
in the 90s, it would have been nice, man. No salieran peleados.
Yo te miro,
I wrote that song.
Sí.
no sé cómo
Está
explicar.
bruta la rola esta. This is
I
my
love this
favorite Jay
song.
Perez song.
Quiero ser tu amante y darte feliz.
¿Tú la cantas en tu show también esta o no?
Yeah, I do.
Yo quiero tenerte a mi lado.
Yo me quedo bien curado con tu voz, Dad. I mean, your voice is amazing, bro. It's
Thank you.
smooth, dude.
Thank you.
Pa' que sepas lo que yo.
But Jay Perez, man, I mean,
Oh, Jay
talk
is-
about history and talent
Oh, yeah.
and, man, just an amazing
I
talent.
was talking to a friend of mine, Damiani. He was remembering some of the old Jay stuff that we'd done that never got to be a single. Some of the B-sides or whatever.
Sí.
A matter of fact, today, ahora me dijo, no, hombre, dijo, Jay Perez es otro pedo.
We'll tener a Gibby Velasquez aquí in a couple of weeks.
I know. Yeah, he told me. He
Yeah,
told
he's going
me.
to come in. And I really want to talk about that Breaking All the Rules album. I mean,
Oh,
that
man.
album, bro. I mean,
It broke ground, bro.
dude, big time, man. 1988, 87, something like that.
89.
And Jay, that was like the album that kind of brought Jay out.
Yeah.
To the
Jay was
masses.
with a local band called Misterio Band.
And they played the Tejano
played
Awards.
drums.
Yeah.
He played drums. But then when, I guess the opportunity came that they needed a singer, pues ya lo conocía, no? And they brought him in, and that's when you see those old Tejano Music Awards where
Yeah.
Jay's singing in the background there.
One time I asked him about him back in my Puro Tejano days, and he didn't want to have anything to talk about that. I was like, what's wrong with that, bro? I mean,
I don't know.
I mean, he's got some amazing roots in a history, and he could write a book, man. And his talent is like beyond You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tiene una voz, bro. And anything he sings.
Oh, yeah.
Country, when he joined David Lee Garza doing the country tunes and shit.
Me estoy enamorando.
But when he came out with this album, it was, Steel Rain también. And then Gary, going back to Gary, man. Las
Gary
miradas.
has it amazes me how he's survived the times.
Mm-hmm.
He came on in the late 70s too.
Sí.
And then the 80s, the 90s, and till today. I mean,
And
still there, man.
on Friday night is when they're gonna start the show out the week,
Right.
the weekend of Labor Day, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, August 30th, 31st, and September 1st. Now, if you want tickets, you can go to TejanoSuperfest.com or Tejano-Superfest.com. It's right there
Forget
on
the
your
dash
screen.
because me hablan cada rato. Hey, no sale. You gotta put the dash, bro.
Yeah, you got to get that. Yeah, Tejano-Superfest. You see it on the screen there. But Gary Hawes, man, I had him here, bro. That guy también, like I said, since the late 70s, early 80s. Aunque no le cuentas and all those classic tunes.
Oh, yeah.
Hacienda Records, bro.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I just saw Rick Garcia a couple of weeks ago from Hacienda,
Yeah.
and he's living here in Harlingen.
Oh, that's cool.
Pero, man. And then you've got these guys. I haven't seen them in a long time, bro. That same night, La Tropa F.
David Farias.
Yeah, David Farias.
Y La Tropa F.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Bueno, salieron.
That's not David though.
That's not David? Oh, no? Okay, well, let's get David on, man. A ver, vamos a ver.
That was the new Tropa.
So then David's back with La Tropa or what?
Well, David, I think I think the name belonged to. I don't know how it works out. I don't want to say the wrong things, but but he started using the name again. David Farias y La Tropa F.
Yeah.
And he's got his brother Joe with him there.
Órale.
Y
Hell
cae,
yeah,
y
this
cae
is a good
cuando
one.
llega Juan Farias ahí también,
Sí,
el drummer.
sí.
Solo que. But
Pero nombre
David
se-
Farias y La Tropa F, and he's got a fairly new band, and
¿Y Jaime tiene el otro? ¿O qué?
I think so.
Jaime Farias?
They haven't done anything in a while, pero
No.
como que era So David just started using the name, and I said, well, I'm gonna put it on there, and because they do they do the catalog, you know what I mean?
Sí.
They play all the songs.
Pues esos vatos comenzaron con el jefito de ellos, bro.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I remember they had this old tune, man. I used to play it on a radio from an album. A ver.
Wait, Rock, wait. Before you take that song off real quick, let me tell you something quick about this song.
Dale
When
gas.
I was in second grade, we had a one of those talent shows right in school, and they were like, okay, you guys get to choose a song. Y que la chingada. I chose this song to go up on stage, and I made this fake accordion. And in the part cuando le hace beep, 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 all the kids went crazy, bro. Oh my god, I was fucking if you see the video, that guy's like fucking like dancing, you know what I mean? And I was doing that same shit in the video, right? Like mimicking the guy from the video.
Sí.
The kids went nuts. I love this fucking song.
Juan Sabor.
Yeah. So that's going to be Friday night with Jay and...
Yes.
Let's see. Who else we got? I made a little playlist here, man.
Órale. We got Mike and the Iconics.
Yeah, Mike, they got this song. Jimmy Gonzalez's son.
Right?
And he's making his own
kicking,
ground, man. Yeah.
That sound.
Estaban allá en New Braunfels grabando con AJ Castillo. Yeah.
Ahí está el sonido.
Yeah.
El Moss Field.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Smooth.
You gotta love those transitions.
Duermo en esta cama vacía,
Sí.
en cual también tú dormías.
I love that you can hear the guitar.
Solo queda una huella de ti.
Está durmiendo solo el vato, chico. No hay nadie en la casa, chico.
Vengo con el corazón herido,
Hoy no más.
de rodillas
A lot of times in Tejano songs, the guitar's overlooked y siempre está en bajita. But I like that they put it a little bit higher. Y se ve con madre.
Jimmy G, bro. You know, ponía la guitarra en aquella.
Yeah, I love it. That sound is there.
So you've got the iconics. You got Jay Perez. You got David Farias y La Tropa F. Gary Hobbs. And then you've got this guy, too, just to, add a little more flavor to it. Rubén Ramos.
Oh, yeah.
¿Qué dice Rubén, bro? I haven't
Gato
seen him.
Negro, brother.
Man, bro, he's over 80-something, still playing golf.
Still kicking, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it, man. Yo le dije, how do you do it, Ruben? He goes, I eat a cupcake and a Dr. Pepper before I go to bed.
Oh, don't stop, because entonces your body will go out of whack, man. Man, what a story this guy has, right?
Oh, man.
History.
Oh, yeah, his family, bro.
Yeah.
All his brothers. And
they should make a movie about these guys.
they should.
Write a book. I want to bring him into the show. He was supposed to come and, I had a show prepared. I was like going to dig into his life, his history, there's a lot that I don't know about him, and I'm very intrigued with his career, because him and his brother Alfonso and La Revolución Mexicana, La Revolución Tejana. And
well, on my new record that you just got, that it's not even out yet, but I brought you a copy. The 25th anniversary.
Ooh.
Okay.
Exclusive gold.
I do El Troquero with Ruben Ramos.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we did a duet on it.
Esa está bruta, bro.
Oh, yeah.
And Alfonso, man, that was one of their hits, man. Yolanda, that album's one of my favorite albums. Yeah, so Ruben Ramos, ladies and gentlemen, también. That's Friday night. We're not even to Saturday. All right, this is Friday night. That's why I'm calling it the Woodstock of Tejano, bro. Then you got this guy right here, man. Forget about it.
The Magic Man, brother.
Pío Treviño.
He's coming with his group, man.
Es todo.
Yeah.
He's got an amazing band.
Magic. Yeah, he's got a great band.
Ooh, what a voice.
Yeah.
I like that Rhodes.
Yeah.
That's Rick Garcia, bro, in engineering. That.
Oh, sí.
Oh, that's Hacienda. The drum sound used to get out of the Hacienda, bro.
Este vato llenaba el Villarreal Convention Center aquí, bro. Pío Treviño. And everywhere he played.
Yeah.
He was one of the first guys that I ever saw using pyros. When they were playing Tejano back in the late 80s, he'd have the flames and the sparklers and shit. Yeah. I like that. They go into the harmonica sound there. And I had Pio on the show a long time ago. It was it must have been like 2021. And an amazing interview with him. I mean, his life, his history, growing up at King Ranch. His dad was working there, and just an amazing history, ladies and gentlemen. And so that's going to be on Friday. Gary Hobbs, Jay Perez, David Farias y La Tropa F, Iconics, Rubén Ramos, Pío Treviño, La 45 también.
Yeah,
they're an orchestra, ¿verdad?
They're an orchestra, bro. They're
you like the horns and all that stuff?
Oh, yeah, man. They're carrying that Chicano flag, bro.
Yeah.
With the orchestra sound y todo.
Y también Lío y Tentación.
Lío y Tentación featuring Crystal Torres, a band out of San Antonio.
Okay.
A local group there. And when I was doing this, I said, you know what? I want to show some love to the local talent. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have Leo kick it off. And of course, 45's coming up. Ruben Ramos is going to be up with 45. And then Pio's coming on. Of course, Mike and the Iconics, Dave Farias, Jay Perez, and closing out the show, Gary Hobbs. So, man.
So Friday night is the kickoff, and that's the whole itinerary there. And then you've got Saturday. And, David Lee Garza, bro, I mean, I got to play some. This is one of the oldies right here. Yes. Yeah. The Roberto Pulido sound, and, right? El pitito con el acordeón. The influence that Roberto Pulido had on San Antonio is crazy.
Oh, yeah, it's really crazy, man.
This was when Ram was with him.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? All the singers that played with David Lee are going to be at the festival.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, Oscar G, Ram Herrera, Jay Perez, Marcos Orozco.
And then there's a band called El Dorado Band.
Uh-huh.
And their singer is Rubén Cervantes.
Okay.
He came in a little bit after Emilio.
Órale.
Right? He was
he was in between Emilio and Jay.
And Oscar G.
And Oscar G, that's right.
And then they got Oscar G. He never got a chance to record, but he was there for a little while. So anyway, he didn't record with them, but he was still with David Lee. So yeah, there's a lot of it's like I said, the University of DLG.
Yeah,
you know, class.
I know, dude.
You know.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
This is like Hacienda stuff right here, man. Back in the day. This has to be probably 1981, 80?
Something like
81?
that. 80, 81.
And then you got, let me see, I got another. This one's reminding me of when I started in radio, man. I used to play this one. What's the name of it?
Qué mala sangre tiene.
Órale, carnal. Tú sabes one time. Sí sabe. El acordeón. El carnal de Develita desgraciado para las drums también, bro.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man.
Emilio, man.
Emilio, bro.
Man,
that's Kike on guitar. Kike Esquivel. He's playing with my band now.
Man, the Esquiveles on that first album, the Emilio dude.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the bass work, the guitar work, it's pretty
very distinguished sound.
Yeah. A lot of people don't get that, right?
Yeah,
I mean, and you know what? It didn't make the music sound monotonous. You know, it was like, you know, because in the 90s you had a lot of bands and the songs just sounded, it was like cookie cutter stuff. And I remember I had got it here at Romance, and we went through one of the songs from that album and all these different elements and different keyboard sounds that he'd put into one song. And I said, what made you think of doing that? He goes, I just didn't want the song to be boring, you know. And I was like, yeah, that's what it does. And, you know, I remember hearing those songs with Emilio and the bass player doing all this kind of work, and instead of just like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sangre tienes. I remember seeing Emilio with David Lee, bro, back in 1985. Yeah.
6, 7.
At Studio 4 over here in Harlingen. I was DJ there. And then this one's another great one from David Lee. Right?
Yeah. Same album.
David Lee has so many hits, man, with different singers. Every singer that they had hits, man. That's crazy, right?
Every once in a blue moon, he'll call me and be like, hey, man, my singer can't make it for this reason or that reason. So I was like, yeah, I'll go, you know, jam with you guys. And he gives me the set list. And I'm like, man, what a problem to have, man.
Puro pinche powerhouse music, powerhouse jams, bro. Is he going to headline Saturday night? Or
he is.
Oh, that's And Ram plays right before him or what? Yep. So Ram can get up there and do a song with him or something, man. Ram.
A ver qué pasa. There he is.
That'll be a great surprise.
This was my favorite Ram Herrera album, probably. Pensamientos.
That's one of mine.
Joel Guzman on accordion. He had Richard, the drummer from Latin Breed, playing drums with him on this one, I think.
Yeah. Actually, the drummer on that song there is Richard Barron.
Ándale, ese Richard.
No, but Richard Barron.
Oh.
Que tocaba con Magic y Grupo Más.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Playing drums there, right there.
Whatever happened to Richard Barron? He's a big guy, man. Yeah, I remember him, yeah.
He's in Dallas, I think, somewhere.
Era el con long hair y el arete y la chingada.
Sí. He had the big cage.
Yeah. That's him on this one?
That's him on drums there.
Orale. Pinche Chente knows all the inside names and all that.
Everything, all
You should start a podcast, bro.
It's like an encyclopedia, a Tejano encyclopedia.
I've only been talking about it for about the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Pero pues, I mean, you know, life happens, man. So
actually, I was going to compare him to Phil Collins.
¿Sí?
Porque, pues, I mean, he's a drummer.
Ajá.
Pero, pues, que también canta y la
Puro
chingada.
Surio, carnal.
You know what I mean?
Studio. What the hell did that ever mean, right? I don't even know. So Ram Herrera's also there with David Lee Garza. That's Saturday night. And then you've got, of course, Chente, who's going to be performing as well. Y pues the guy we were just talking about right now, Roberto Pulido.
Hombre.
Primo.
Dude, it's going to be like a big old family class reunion and stuff,
dice, un compadre mío dice, ¿a qué hora va a tocar Pulido? He's going to be a little early on, maybe like 8 o'clock. Ahí por ahí. Dice, hijo. ¿Y por qué? Dijo, pues borra el pedo a las 8 entonces.
Yeah. What an iconic treasure of
You gotta be able to coordinate your peda to where like it's gonna be like perfect by when he
ya para las 8
by when Roberto jumps on stage, you're already like buzzed con madre, like it just starts hitting con madre, like perfect.
Para cuando se sube Roberto, estás peaking.
Another word of the day. Ando peaking, carnal.
I'm peaking, bro. can't believe he's doing his last album and last tour.
Right.
You know, I don't think he.
I think he's gonna do something like George Strait. You know, they want to retire because you know they feel that it's time or whatever. But I don't see Roberto. I just don't see it. I don't see him.
No se halla en la casa. Hay que andar tocando.
I just don't see it. I mean, I think that you know he might take some time off and en cuando va a salir en un festival o algo. You know, like I said, what George Strait was doing. I mean, he retired officially, but then vamos a Las Vegas en cuando. No?
Yeah.
You know.
This is one of my favorite ones too, man. I hope he plays it that night.
Jambalaya.
Goodbye, Joe. Oh! Gotta go. Me, oh my, oh.
Le pongo ahí en la.
Me gotta go.
El cowbell, pa.
Down the bio.
And I had an interview with Roberto and talking about he was 15 years old playing with los Laytons in 65. Down $5. Dice, no me era feria.
When I first started playing, man, I was 9 years old. I was playing with a band in San Antonio called El Quintanelos Tall Boys.
Oh, I remember them.
Me pagaban $40 and I would tell my mom, what's this for? No, man, métete en la bolsa. You pay. And I'm like,
El hijo desobediente.
Ándale.
Yeah.
And when the band would take a break, los vatos iban para la barra y yo para el playground.
No, man, I talked to Roberto and I asked him about, you know, meeting his wife, you know, Bobby's mom and all that. And he said, no, okay, he was at a dance y que, you know, he saw her and all this and that and all that. So then I told Bobby, hey, Bobby, I had an interview with your dad, bruto, bro. We talked about when he met his mom. Te dijo que se la robó. They get, no, bro, no me digo, bro, but I'm going to start the conversation next time with that one.
Así se acostumbraba antes en sus tiempos.
Yeah. No, but the rest is history. Look, Bobby and Alma and Mark. And anyway, so that's Saturday night. Raulito Navaira's also going to perform. También Oscar G from Eagle Pass had that one album, and then he had a solo album.
Yeah,
a solo career.
He's had about 5-6 albums. But I mean, there's 2 or 3 songs there that really did well for him. But the one that really sticks is El Ojo de Vidrio.
Sí. El Ojo de Vidrio. Let's look for that, man. Let's see if it's in here. El Ojo de Vidrio, and it's David Lee.
Ándale.
David Lee. Musicales.
And that's another crowd favorite, man. I mean,
yeah, es un corrido, está toda madre, bro. A ver, era lo que está. A ver, vamos a ver. So ahí está Oscar G, está Ram Herrera, Raulito's there. Maybe he'll do an Emilio song with him, you know, you never know.
Could.
I mean, I'm sure Roberto Pulido's going to get up with David Lee and do a song.
Man, a ver qué pasa,
se va a hacer un party, carnal. It's the Woodstock of Tejano. ¿Verdad, Vázquez?
Woodstock of Tejano.
Oye,
What you said.
No hables mucho, Dad, por favor.
Cállate, Richard, cállate.
Chente nunca lo dejó hablar. ¿Qué onda?
Both of you guys.
Oye, ¿tú vives allá en Kerrville? ¿Qué haces en Kerrville, Dad?
Ask me what I don't do.
Oh, so you do
I do a lot.
Oh, see?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You work in Kerrville and live in Kerrville, or?
Yes, sir. I live in Kerrville. I work in Kerrville.
Yeah. What is there to do in Kerrville? I mean, besides shop at antique stores and shit like that, right? I don't know. And go to rehab.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah. There's a lot of rehab in Kerrville.
I was at one of them, bro. Center Point, Texas. I was there.
Starlight.
Yeah, Starlight, bro.
Sir.
Yeah, 17 years ago. 17
Yeah.
years ago in June, it was 17 years that I walked into that place and walked out, and I haven't drank or done any illicit drug or anything like that. So help me out, bro.
God bless, man.
And then we went back to it was funny because they have we're gonna be there in Bandera.
That's what some of
September 27th. Yeah, with my band. We headline motorcycle rallies.
Yes.
So
Bandera is a big place for bike rallies.
I started the band in 2010, the end of 2010, and I told my wife, hey, I'm going to start a band, pero si no estamos, I'm going to make phone calls and I want to offer the band, you know, for free, you know, just to get us out there. Y apenas estaba comenzando Facebook, todo se jale, ¿me entiendes? So, y le dije, and I'll get some sponsors para pagarle a los músicos. And then le doy a los sponsors el shout out en el stage y los pongo el banner en el merch booth y la chinga. Pero le dije a mi wife, pero si no está sonando el teléfono para nosotros, within a year and a half, I probably won't continue with it. So one of the first calls that broke the ice was a dude from Houston asking us to headline a show in Bandera, a bike rally. And boy, man, that changed our entire trajectory. I mean, after that show, we started getting calls all over Texas, played from El Paso to Dallas, Lubbock. So, pero crazy road stories, bro.
That's cool, man.
So we'll be there on the 27th, the end of September. We've got the poster under that, babe. It's called Rumble on the River. So
There's a cook-off too, isn't there?
yeah, well they do. Well, they got a new owner now.
Do they?
Yeah, they bought it off Bill Tabor, and so they're doing. I really don't know what they're doing. They're gonna have some tribute bands and stuff like that, motorcycles, and then you can camp there at that Mansfield Park. It's a real nice place.
Yeah, it's a nice park.
A toda madre, carnal, Bandera. Ladies and gentlemen, when you go to the hill country, it's beautiful. And we'll see you there on the 27th. But on Memorial Weekend, we're going to be at Cattleman Square.
You keep saying Memorial Weekend is Labor Day.
I mean, what did I say? Labor Day weekend. It's Cattleman Square. ¿Dónde menos está Cattleman Square?
Cattleman Square is right catty corner across the street from Market Square.
Órale.
Right downtown.
Órale.
So, I mean, ahí está todo el guato.
El capacity está para llenarlo.
Sí.
Órale. ¿Y van a tener mesas enfrente o van a hacer general admission, stuff like that?
Yeah, we got all that going on.
Okay,
man.
so then when you go to the website, ladies and gentlemen, you can decide on what tickets you want.
Right.
Órale. And so this is Saturday night. Once again, David Lee Garza, Los
And also, I'd like to
Musicales.
mention that the people that like to buy tickets online, you can also get them at eventmania.com.
Órale.
Eventmania.com.
Ram Herrera is going to be there también. Chente, en Taconazo, Raulito Navaira, Oscar G, Roberto Pulido, Los Clásicos, Los Desperados.
Los Desperados.
That video that came out donde se estaba agarrando con el sound guy, rato.
Hey, man.
What
It's
the hell was
crazy,
going
man.
on, man?
I mean, I don't know the actual story, man. I just heard that supposedly the sound man was getting rowdy with the band, and so much so que el Lee no se aguantó Lee.
No, pues nunca se han dejado,
Se lo
cabrón,
arrancado, you know.
Sí. He didn't know who he was messing with, bro. Anyway, I think I'm glad everything was fine. Los Navaira, Destiny, and Regal will be performing as well. Conjunto Cats. Okay, Johnny Martinez.
Yes, sir.
And El Dorado Band.
El Dorado Band.
Yeah. So that's on Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen, all right? And then on Sunday night, your headliner, is it Elida?
Yes.
What a way to end the weekend, ¿no? Con esta rolita. Man, what a career she's had too, man.
Yep.
And she's still going at it.
Oh, yeah.
De Mercedes, Texas. This song is like,
I know, man.
it was one of those songs that is never gonna die, bro. They'll be singing it 20 years, 30 years.
En
40
los
years.
clubs también, ya about midnight, no, las tocan ahí, no, hombre.
So all us girls, no, they go crazy.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
They take shots y la chingada.
Comienzan a ver el viejo que tú, cabrón.
Sí.
They start fighting.
¿Te acuerdas? Sí, que los-
Creating problems por nada.
Y me vas a llevar a Taco Palenque.
Taco Pete.
You know what you did. You know what you did.
Thanks, Elida. Thank you.
And then, so it's Elida Reina headlining, and then you've got these guys. One of my favorite bands, man. Green Acres, Texas.
Talk about a legacy, bro.
Ricky Naranjo, Los Gamblers. Damn. Sunday night, bro. Sunday after. ¿A qué horas comienza la música el Sunday?
A las 3.
A las 3. ¿Y el Saturday también a las 3? Órale.
Hace tiempo que yo guardo sentimiento.
Ahorita el grito de rock. El grito de rock.
Lo que tú fuiste en mi vida.
No me cada rato hablo con Ricky. He gives me a call. Aquí vive cerquitas en Green Acres. It's like an hour and 10 minutes away from here. Right
on.
by Alice. It's a little community. But we had him on the show, man, and him and his it's not his nephew. Yeah, it's his dad's grandson. Oye, and it's crazy how they sound a lot like their grandpa, right, bro? they just like
It's in the blood, brother.
like the spirit just went right into them. Like it just like it left the coffin. Yeah, crazy, man. Y el compás que tienen estos chavos,
I'll
¿verdad,
tell you
bro?
what, man.
It's authentic
Yes.
and original.
You know, all these years that you know, Rubén Naranjo's music has been around, and of course now he, you know, passed on to Ricky. My mom had never seen them. She says, you know, yo nunca he visto Rubén Naranjo, dijo. And we played together with him at Traders Village in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, are they any good? You know, I said, Mom, you're gonna watch this place just blow up here in a minute. Hombre, se arrancaron, man. El dance floor parecía fire ants, bro. You know, it was badass.
It's so easy to dance to. It's just great. And el compás, man, it has a lot to do. And it's interesting how they have very distinguishable compases, right? All the conjuntos. You can tell who they are just by it.
Oh yeah.
With this one, it's the bass, man. Like the bass is very distinguishable.
Pero las tamboras, el beat, bro.
Oh yeah. Pero watch los adornos del bass.
Is it hard to drum conjunto like it is Tejano, or is it a little bit different?
I mean, it just depends, man. I mean, because, you know, I learned, you know, Dos Gilbertos had a sound.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to play that. That was it. But then, like we were talking about Ruben Ramos, he had a sound too. And there's a difference between Little Joe and Ruben Ramos. They're both orquestas, but it's a different style. It's a different feel. You know?
Jazz.
Like what you were saying about Adam earlier, David Lee. It's very, very distinctive, the sound. You know, the way he plays.
It's their signature.
Yeah.
Like
como Emilio. You know, Emilio had a certain, Casanova had a certain style, man.
Sí.
And you take him out of the band and it sounds weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You got to find somebody that'll play just like him.
You know.
And with like this type of conjunto, it's like timing.
So same thing here, yeah.
The timing, bro, right? Because this has a little delay to it than your
Something,
normal
it's
conjunto.
real laid back.
Yeah. Y no te puedes pasar, bro.
No.
Porque si no se va a oír igual. It's interesting. People don't understand the intricacy of it.
And you can't be real fancy with it either because it's el compás, como dices.
Yeah. And then this guy's gonna perform as well, and I think this song. Esta rola nomás la comienza a tocar y se llena el dance floor, vato.
Oh, yeah.
Marcos Orozco, man.
Yeah. What a career he's had.
I remember him when he was with Los Fabulosos Cuatro.
Yo me acuerdo cuando tocaba la guitarra con Laura.
Sí.
Con Los Fabulosos.
I didn't even know that.
If you look on YouTube on Johnny Canales, look up the Laura stuff.
Okay.
The older stuff.
Sí.
Y vas a ver a Marcos ahí atrás.
Órale. Bien chavalo.
Sí.
Yeah. That Fabulosos Cuatro album is classic. The one that they recorded together. Y la voz bien like effortless, bro.
Descuida, yo bien comprendo. And
if you don't go to any type of Tejano event this year, this is the one you got to go to. You can go to this one and you don't have to go to any of the other ones because they're all going to be there. 3 days.
Yo siempre pediré a Dios por ti.
Esta también está.
I was just going to tell you that, man.
Como las rolas tuyas.
Sí.
Por ese corazón que me dio tanto. Pero acabó mi encanto y lo perdí.
And then you got these guys, Jaime de Anda. And let me tell you, it's been a while since I've seen Jaime. But the music lives on forever. I mean, apenas estaba hablando con Juan P. Moreno, bro. He's under the weather, man. He's got some pancreatic issues going on.
I saw that, brother.
Le mandó una feria, and I shared his. Go to my Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. Juan P. Moreno's been having some medical issues, and I just spoke with him, and he had surgery, and he's out of it, and he's recovering and all that. But he needs some help, you know. So I went ahead and sent him some money on his Cash App. And I'll put it in the description so y'all can, you know, if you want to send him $5, $10, whatever you can to help him out just while he gets better and recovers and is able to perform again. But this guy, Jaime de Anda, I mean, he's got a story himself, a history. with his dad.
Sí, de que estaba chavalo.
And then with Juan P and the rest of the band, Ewi. And I mean, these guys have, and they changed conjunto. I mean,
yeah,
no era nada como lo. As a matter of fact, a lot of conjunto purists they were upset with them because of what they were doing with the music.
They weren't cool with it because they thought they were disrespecting the genre.
Right, dude? Remember that, bro?
Yeah.
That was like in the late 80s.
But they changed the game, man.
Manuel on drums, bro.
Man.
What do you think about Manuel on
I
drums?
think it's great. I mean, he changed the whole platform.
The double
conjunto.
bass and all
bro.
that shit.
He put all that rock in that conjunto, and it's like, who does that, bro?
Yeah.
You know, there really hasn't been a band that's done that.
Yeah.
You know, and then you had Juan P and Chato. I mean, hombre.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. Ladies and gentlemen. So Jaime de Anda's going to be there performing as well. And then these guys, too. Dude, when does it end or when does it stop? There's non-stop big-time names, bro. Those Garcia brothers, there's El Aguilón.
Puro heavy hitter, Dad?
Yeah. Tejano-superfest.com to get your tickets. You need to get them today. You need to get them.
VIP.
Get a whole table.
Te quiero mucho, mucho.
Man, when Jimmy passed away, man, when that accident on the way home, man, that was pretty shocking as well.
It was, man. It was really, really, really sad. I mean,
you would think that would have been the end of the band, and no, these guys, they still kept going, man.
El papá y Joey le siguieron.
And they found accordion players that, you know, could mimic Jimmy, and that's how big of an influence Jimmy was on the accordionist, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oye.
Desde que nos quisimos.
Esta es la musiquita que ponía yo en el 5 o'clock, Dad.
No, cállate el
Todas las
avionazo.
tardes. No, hombre, temblaban todos a las 5, chinga. No, Rack, no, por favor, me voy para la pinche cantina a morear, carnal.
Saca la bolsita.
Ya. No, nomás va a ser una bolsita y un seisito y es todo, me voy para la casa. Yeah. And then
como SpongeBob, 3 days later.
Yeah. ¿Te acuerdas los parties de esos, Chente? ¿Tú no? You were never a party, pero sí. ¿Tú también te metías en los parties o no, carnal?
No, I was there.
Yeah.
I was there trying to leave, trying to get out. Por eso me puse como me puse porque estos iban al pedo. Yo iba al Whataburger. No. You know, and I can say this, I'm very proud I never did any drugs. You know, I don't want to say
Con
anything.
razón todos querían que tocara Chente con ellos para que hubiera más para ellos.
No les va a quitar, no les va a quitar.
Pero gracias a Dios que, you know, I just, hey man,
No, it's
I
good.
just never got into it. I never got into all that.
Thank
man.
God.
And
Thank goodness.
But I mean, I got stories, and you know,
I know.
I was always around. And,
Yeah.
Hey, llévame para acá. Ya sabes dónde.
What happens in the tour bus and after the show stays in the tour bus and after the show, right?
And it was funny because some of these bands that were, I guess, like they heard, hey, well, this band does it, man. So we want to do it too. We want to be like these guys. A ver, Chente, you know everybody, but yo conocía a la gente, you know, hey, man, you know. A veces me daban a mí las bolsitas, ¿no? Y,
Sí.
hey, hola, Chente, hey, man, go ahead. And I would tell the guy, well, a ver, ¿quién quiere que it's free?
Yeah.
Hombre, cállate.
Yeah.
If I would have known back then, I could have sold it, man. I would have made some money,
No,
bro.
pues, carnal, cállate la boca, shut up. Not even, bro.
Oh, my
Te
gosh.
pescan, te meten al bote y les diga.
Yeah.
No, pero, I mean, hey, man, it's all good.
Yeah. That's some stories, road stories. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
the
yeah.
90s were out of control.
Oh, yeah, man.
I mean, the 90s were Motley Crue for Tejano,
Yes,
bro.
yes.
That's what it was. And Guns N' Roses.
Oh, man.
Que era Tejano, bro.
It was crazy, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, also, I'm interested in seeing this guy. I haven't seen him in a long time. And El Hugo Guerrero, bro.
hombre.
I mean, this was a song he recorded with Fandango USA.
Yes.
I'm sure he's going to do it that night,
That's
¿verdad?
another staple in Tejano music. That's not a real Tejano song, but mira.
I know,
Yeah, I
dude.
love
Mira
this song.
lo que hizo.
How the hell did he sing so fast, man? Speaking of, dame la bolsita, tengo que rap a la Fandango.
Con ese ritmo de la charanga. porque me he dado cuenta que hasta los cocos botan la mula y se sienten buenos cuando la bailan.
Ese es cuando se hace todo el pinche show, se hace una desfila, no, all around the park.
Yeah. Me he dado cuenta que hasta los cocos botan la mula.
Parece una quinceañera, ¿no?
What a groundbreaking, innovative song this was.
And you know the story behind that one? I don't know exactly, but supposedly that was like the last song on the album.
Sí.
Hey, falta una rola para el disco, pues vamos a grabar esta, you know. Y mira.
Yeah.
And then I heard that was done at Freddie Records.
Mm-hmm.
That was song number 10 on the original press.
Fíjate.
And then when se arrancó, they reprinted, they put it song number 1.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I love the breakdown right here.
Yeah.
The breakdown.
Ahora. Agárrate.
Pero mira que esa vieja no se casa por el modo de mirarme. Parece que no duerme, amanece, anochece en la rueda del fandango. Ella quiere que la moto se la lleve charangando, charanga.
Charanga, robot.
Oh yeah, I have a funny story about this song too.
Órale.
Because I grew up on Tejano. Like there was always Tejano playing in my house when I was little. That song came on the radio, and my little brother Snake, he took his first steps to that song, y luego pum, se cayó, right? The song se quitó de la radio. He didn't want to move anymore. So my mom calls my uncle because she knew my uncle would play this song in his troca all the time. He had the cassette. Le dice, ven pa' la casa de volada, tráete el cassette. Se trae el cassette de charanga y lo pone otra vez y empieza mi hermanito. Took his first steps to this fucking song.
Sí, esta rola hace brainwash, carnal.
¿Por qué?
Pues tú sabes, te hace mover. It turns you into a robot, bro. It turned me into a robot right now, bro.
It made my little brother take his first steps. That's how good that fucking song is.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I wish we had video of that.
Y fíjate, si tuviéramos cell phones en esos tiempos, Dad, como, man.
A ver, vamos a ver. También va a estar Eddie González. ¿Qué dice el Eddie González?
Ahí anda, he's recording a new record, man.
Sí.
I just talked to him the other day, and he's about Aitaira. Another guy that you know.
I did an interview with him. Fui para allá para San Antonio. Tuvimos en una casa, babe.
Yes.
In the living room. Seteamos todo el pedo y la chingada. We were just getting started, right?
It was a long time ago, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And no, man, Eddie was there, man. He was going through some tough times, bro. And estaba también el bajo sexto que estaba tocando con, I forgot his name, but he was playing with the Crazy Pimps, and then he had gotten out. But Eddie, man, he was thrown right in the middle of the crazy 90s, bro, too, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. When all the record labels were in San Antonio and they were all from all over the nation signing bands left and right, artists. What do you remember about that time, man? What are your...
I just remember that we didn't know that we were in the position we were in. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know, we'd go on the road, we'd come back, and I would tell Jay, hey, Jay, you realize, man, that we're one of the top 5 bands, I mean, you know, that are touring, and I mean, we're playing 5 nights a week. Damn. You know, we're going everywhere, and it's like, I'm freaking out. I mean, now we look back on it, and we laugh about it, and we say, you know what, man, I mean, maybe we should have done this a little more different. You know,
Did you, when you were going through that, you were playing with Jay, obviously, Jay Perez, and you guys were playing 5 nights a week. Did you ever think things were going to change later, or did you think it was going to be like that for a longer time?
I knew that things would change. I just didn't know when it was going to change. Mm-hmm. So when bands started coming in, like we were talking about, that norteño wave started coming in, Michael Salgado, Límite, you know, Intocable started coming in. Mm-hmm. Then that's when I said, you know, se está volteando el jale, you know.
Sí.
And Jay was like, well, what do you mean? I said, well, I mean, and you know, Jay's done a couple of norteño songs.
Sí.
To, I guess, adapt to the times, kind of, sort of, but you know, Jay's Jay, man.
But Jay can stay true to what he does. I mean, because he's one of those artists that are timeless. He's a timeless artist.
Como David Lee, you know, David Lee has a style. And,
yeah.
You know, that's it. And, I mean, it's proof. I mean, look how many.
What do you think could have been done to kind of slow down that? You know,
the rush.
Yeah.
I think that if all the bands would have done business the right way, you know,
as far as,
and well, I mean, you would get managers that they weren't real managers. Vamos se clavaban en la feria y, you know what I mean? They were keeping a lot of stuff from the artists.
Yeah.
And then I feel that if we would have had better guidance, business wise. Like I said, there was a lot of street knowledge out there, and I feel that if there was better guidance as far as like if they would have said, you guys are making a lot of money, man. Maybe y'all need to think about 401ks and stuff like that. Maybe the business would have been a little bit different. Maybe the bands, maybe the 90s, that whole craze would have lasted a little longer.
But musically, what do you think the bands should have? Because, I mean, a lot of the bands that are really doing well right now are the legacy bands. You see a lot of new bands come out, but it's like even with bands like Metallica and Guns N' Roses, I mean, I don't see any bands right now that are going to be the next Metallica.
Right. I saw.
It's hard, man. Right.
I saw a Dan Rather interview with Gene Simmons, and he said that he says there will never be another Beatles. There will never be another Kiss.
Yeah.
And he's right. I mean, at least I don't see it. I'm sure you don't see it. Like you said, there's not going to be another Metallica.
Yeah.
It's
just that this internet stuff really changed the whole game.
Oh yeah.
And there's just so much saturation
I feel
of
that there's
artists.
a big void in our youth. I feel that there's a big, I mean, there's very few Tejano fans that are young, that are, that you can say, oh man, La Chavalada, they're supporting Tejano music. It's really, really hard nowadays because, you got the cell phones now. They're distracted, I mean.
And the thing is, like I say, you find, and it happens to me. I find, like the other day, we were talking about Yair Saldívar and that Chimichanga song. We stumbled on it because it got recommended because we were listening to some other cumbia stuff. And so the YouTube recommends it, and then I put it on, and it intrigued me. Like, what the hell is this, right? I don't know. Have you seen it? Yair Saldívar, he's like a kid from Matamoros, and he brings out all these cartel-looking videos, and he's rapping or he's singing to like classic cumbia hits.
Andale, siempre.
And so he did something out of the box. And from what I heard, that he started like playing in la esquina, ponía un little speaker, cantaba ahí, le dan feria la chingada. So he ended up getting found, and so the rest is history. But I was on it for like a couple of days, right, babe? We're like, rabbit hole time. Let's check out, find some interviews, and then once we see what we wanted to see, okay, that's it. I mean, I haven't really revisited any of it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the guy's got 55 million views on his YouTube video. And so,
and unfortunately now that's what it's about, man.
So right now it's like the longevity of a song isn't the way it was back in the day, where an album could keep you busy all year.
It's hard
what
because
I mean?
like we just I just released, I'm about to release the new record, and so I've talked to other bands that have said, well, we released a record about a month ago, pero pues it lasted a week or whatever. Nobody talks about it no more.
Y no puedes dejar salir todo el record. I watch what a lot of other artists are doing, and they like bring out a song at a time with a video, So say that you record an album, it's the single process. Back in the day, vientabas el single y de ahí, antes que salía el álbum.
You know what?
Salía el álbum and then sacas otro single.
Well, what freaked me out is back in the 80s, I remember bands would take out records every 6 months.
Tejano bands.
Yeah. I remember when Mas took out number 16, the Red album.
Yeah, that's an
amazing
amazing
album. And then 6 months later, it was the
Blue
number 16,
album?
number 2.
Yeah.
I mean, man.
Sí. No, esos vatos eran workhorses, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's not like, a lot of people don't realize that our industry, there was never a break in touring either.
When Michael Salgado came out, I mean, he had been around since the 80s, but he finally broke out in, of course, the early 90s. But, I mean, every time I would talk to those guys, hey, man, what you guys up to? Oh, we're in the studio. And I guess at that time, Joey Records said, you know what? We got something here, so we're going to... And they were doing that every 6 months.
Just that song.
That song. But that song made it, yeah. And now they're recording.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I want to say that had a lot to do with Michael's career, and where he ended up.
Cruz de Madera, that's his Hotel California.
Song.
That's his staple song. Oye, esa rola la tocaban como, and it was interesting because people, the Tejano purists, were kind of upset that they were putting it on Tejano radio back when it was coming out 20 times a day.
Right.
But it was just that popular, and you couldn't have, and there was no internet back then to make a song popular, bro.
Right.
So.
No radio.
Yeah.
Está como cuando La Sombra came out with Abuelita Coca-Cola.
Sí.
Yes. I remember I heard that song about 20 times a day, like you said.
Yeah. On the radio.
And all of a sudden, who's that? It was La Sombra.
Yeah. They were number one, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. What an amazing journey Tejano music has been through, you know?
But I mean, you had your stages. I mean, you had the orquesta stage, and then you had the keyboard stage, and
then the accordion.
The accordion kind of snuck in,
and then, but like you had the orquesta, but then you had Roberto Pulido.
Ándale.
You know, that had just the sax with the accordion.
Ándale.
You know, and he just created his own style, man. It was incredible. And in the orquesta, pues you had Little Joe, you had Ruben Ramos, you had
Agustín Ramirez,
Agustín Ramirez, yeah, man. And yeah, wow. I mean, there should be documentation I want to interview like Little Joe, and because I know a lot about Little Joe. I want to play songs and ask him about them, you know.
Yeah.
Same thing with Jay, dude. Like I love to talk music, you know, like I did with Romance.
Right.
Because I'm a music historian, bro. I love, I love
so
learning about music.
I mean, dissect the record is, you know.
Yeah, see, if I would find out about a certain song or a band, I'd want to know the history.
Right.
And I want to read every little thing on the album and find out who was the guy that engineered it and produced it and all that. Así soy yo, bro. I mean, that's the way I've always been.
Old school. That's the old school in you. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chente. Let me play that song. Retro 80s medley, bro. Te guachas bien chavalito ahí en el picture.
That was at the rodeo.
2008, dude.
Yeah.
That's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16 years ago.
16 years ago.
Ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to miss the show. This special Tuesday night show was brought to you by Tejano Superfest, okay? This is their show. And that's why, and I wanted to do it because I wanted to hear all the music. It's going to be happening Labor Day weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, August 30th, 31st, and September 1st. Cattleman Square in San Antonio. It's Labor Day weekend, man. Get your tickets at Tejano Superfest or Tejano-Superfest. Don't forget the dash, okay? Also on that Sunday, it's Willie the Kid and Starlight.
Yeah, it's another group from San Antonio. They've been around for a long time, and you know, we're showing them some love. You know, Willie's been all over the place. He's been around since the 70s, so y'all can go check him out, man. He's got a good group, and they're going to be kicking off the show about 3 o'clock. So.
Y Lázaro Pérez y su conjunto también, bro.
Pérez, brother. That's right. I said, man, we're missing somebody.
Yeah.
Lázaro Pérez.
And it's perfect having conjunto on a Sunday, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Like Sundays and conjunto, that like go hand in hand, bro.
Yes.
Las tardeadas, papá.
Yeah. Don't forget to call 210-394-8252. That's 210-394-8252. That's the phone number. Somebody will answer the phone. You can get tickets there as well, the VIPs, and they'll show you the chart y todo, hombre.
We're going to put the number in the description. So all you got to do is click on or just get the number there, and then you'll be able to make the phone call and get these tickets. I think there's going to be people from all over Texas and the United States in San Antonio.
Right now, we're getting a lot of calls from out of state, brother.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy. And they're like, oh, we're going to stay there porque nadie trabaja el lunes.
Yeah.
Labor Day, so
yeah. Tengo primos de Oregon también que han venido. They love Tejano. They're Tejanos, you know.
Right on.
And they love it when it's like days of nothing but Tejano music. They get their full because allá no hay nada, bro. Every once in a while. So aquí vienen y se darten y no se dan un doble, carnal, de Tejano. Se dan un doble de Tejano, carnal, y se los llevan en critical condition hasta Oregon, carnal. Bro, Tejano, papá, asústame one time.
The strongest Tejano drug es la de Roberto Pulido. Bueno, es una song de Roberto Pulido y
te vas en un viaje.
Te pones a convulsion.
No me caes.
Tejano convulsion. That's a good name for an event. Tejano convulsion.
Necesitas 3 colchas y la chingada. Pinches chills, carnal.
Es posiblemente que te quiero. Si quieres saber, nomás acércate y yo te enseño a ti lo que tú no sabes. Si te arrimas más, yo te enseño más. Nos pasamos la noche.
Un saludo para toda la raza en el chat zone.
Del amor que sentimos y al amanecer el otro día. Tú me quieres.
sacaste un 100 con esta rola, carnal. Este medley. La guitarrita. El tone. Bien smooth. Y el acordeón. Great mix, bro.
Thank you. Saludos para la güera.
Yeah. ¿Qué pavo, güera?
Te quiero mucho, te quiero mucho, te quiero mucho.
You know, when I had Pio on the show, Ricky Smith's son called in and talked to him, and just like, it was like a real touching moment, bro.
Wow,
because Ricky had passed away.
Yeah.
And he said, I just want to tell you, my dad loved you. It's on, you look it up. Hashtag PVT, hashtag Pio Trevino. You'll see the interview. It's amazing. It's in our archives. Vámonos.
Oh, baby.
It's their fault.
Hey, I got this one too. A late track.
Soy un tonto
It's still wrapped.
al haberme enamorado.
Not even open, Dad.
That's badass.
Right?
Emocionado con tu amor.
I love this show, man. I get some really cool stuff from the artists.
Si pierdo el tiempo al estar yo pretendiendo.
I would have never thought anybody would redo these romance songs, and you did it, bro. And, you know, I asked them about it. I thought it was like they wrote it, or it was like, and I asked Mito and Oscar, you know how they found that song? At a record store in Reynosa. He said we'd go to Reynosa and buy a bunch of like 45s, and we would ask the record store owner, hey, no hay una música que es un poco diferente. Pues mira, allá abajo tengo unos discos y se los dieron, and they went, and this song was in one of the 45s. And they recorded it. Yeah, and man, that album is amazing, bro.
Oh, man.
It's a musical.
The first few albums that they took out. Man.
Yeah. Pero para empezar con ese álbum, bro. Bueno, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you. We're going to be here tomorrow night again as well, but we appreciate all of you. We want to thank Chente. I want to thank, of course, Mr. Vasquez over there. Has been a little bit quiet, you know. And él es el silent partner. ¿Verdad, carnal? Es lo que es el silent partner de Curry, carnal.
Literally.
Sí. And so, want to thank you for having the faith in our show to be able to promote your event and all that, man.
Of course, brother. Thank you, PVT, and all the people out there that support Tejano music in general, man. Of course, you know, we're always looking for this guy, Rock and Roll James. I've known this guy for a long time, and he knows everybody. And I commend the bands, man. Y'all come on, bring your new stuff, and let's keep it going.
I've been trying to get Chente on the show, and it just never happened. And then one day I get a text on a Monday or something. Hey, I'm going to be in town tomorrow morning, man. You want to do a show? Like,
I know, man. I put him on the spot.
One day notice y no pude, pero man, se nos hizo, vato, and I really appreciate it. Ojalá que se nos haga otra vez, carnal.
Yes, of course.
All right, está bien. And pues, you know, buena suerte con el evento.
Thank you.
It's the Woodstock of Tejano, ladies and gentlemen. Put that poster up, baby. It's going to be awesome. A 3-day festival of nothing but the top notch of Tejano. And get your tickets at tejano-superfest.com and get your tickets for the 3 days. Not just one day. Get a 3-day pass because it's going to be a 3-day party. Yeah. Chente's going to be playing on Saturday night. Once again, Friday, Gary Hobbs, Jay Perez, David Farias, La Tropa F, Iconics, Rubén Ramos, Pio Treviño. Saturday, DLG, Los Musicales, Ram Herrera, Chente Barrera, Raulito Navaira, Oscar G, Roberto Pulido, Los Clásicos, Desperados, Los Navaira, and more. And then on Sunday, Elida Reina, Yavante, Ricky Naranjo y Los Gamblers, Marcos Orozco, Jaime Diana, Los García Brothers, Lázaro Pérez, Conjunto, Eric González, Hugo Guerrero. It's going to be...
No es como Hugo Guerrero, tú.
All right. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody, wave at it.
Bye.
We'll see y'all later. And make sure to support Tejano, man. Tejano Superfest.
Yeah.